Hi guys. Uh, I have had a change of heart on how I wanted to do my guitar body, and my my wife, when I showed this to her, she didn't think it looked too good, and really, to tell you the truth, I don't think it looks that great either. Uh, anyway, like I said, I wanted it stained, but the stain I used was a lot darker than I thought it was going to be, first of all. And then after I put it on, there were some spots that I put some wood putty in different areas of the body, and consequently, when I went over that with the wood stain that I had, it when I went over the wood putty spots, it made it look really blotchy, and it didn't look very good. So mainly the spots I used the wood putty was around the edges. So I decided to I darkened the edges with some black acrylic paint, and then I decided I sanded the front of it down because then I used some different color, some kind of reddish brown acrylic paint to make it kind of look like a sunburst finish on it. But my wife she said it didn't look very good. To tell you the truth, I don't really think it looks that great either. So she suggested I just go ahead and paint it a solid color. And I asked her what kind of a color she thought might look good on it. She said dark red. So I happen to have some dark red here that I have used before on different things. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this on it. But what I'm going to do though, that particular spray paint already has primer in it. But because of the fact that the colors I used on here are really dark, I don't think it would make the color stand out that much. So I'm going to paint it with this white primer, and my plan is, of course, that that'll make the red color pop out more. So anyway, but that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get started with that right now. Okay, folks, I have changed my mind yet again. I was using the burgundy color for my guitar body, but I showed my wife what it was looking like, and she said it was looking too much like a pink guitar. She had originally wanted it to be like a dark red of some kind. So I showed her that I had a different color paint, and I sprayed a little bit of this paint on a piece of cardboard so she could see it. And what it is, it's a shimmer metallic candy apple red spray paint. And when she saw it, she says, "Oh yeah, that looks a heck of a lot better." So we decided that this is the color that I'm going to have the guitar body, and I've already been spraying it. I've put a couple of coats on it so far. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. I've got a third coat I want to put on it here. And hopefully, by the time I get done with that, of course, going to let it set overnight, and tomorrow hopefully I'll be able to go ahead and put the epoxy resin clear coat on it. So that should really make it look pretty nice. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get this coat on here. Okay, I'm going to let that set, and we'll let it dry and see how it looks tomorrow. And maybe if it looks good enough, we'll be able to get some epoxy resin on there. So we'll leave it at that for now, and we'll see you in the next step. Hi guys, I'm back, and I am going to put one more coat of the metallic cherry red, and I'm hoping that that's going to be the last coat I need to put on it before I go ahead and get the epoxy resin coating on it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and hopefully it'll be enough coats. Okay, I think I'm done because I think my can is completely out of paint now. So I'm gonna let it dry, and then later this afternoon I think it's going to be about ready to apply the epoxy resin, and we'll take it from there. We'll see you in the next step. Okay guys, I'm back, and I am ready to get started on applying the epoxy resin onto my guitar body. I've got it all painted up, and I am ready to mix the epoxy resin with the hardener, and I've had them in some warm water to warm them up because it's kind of chilly down here. Okay, I'm almost done getting this last amount stirred here. Alrighty, time to apply the epoxy resin onto the body here. course I am going to want it on the sides. It's kind of hard to maneuver around the screw holes, but oh man, one came out. Okay, finish this off here. I think I might have enough here. So it's really good stuff, and I'm glad I found out about this, with the fact that I've been creating or putting together guitar bodies. There's two guitars that I wish I would have used this stuff on, and I didn't. I just used the polyurethane, and so consequently, oh wow, that's looking really nice. I don't know, but once it dries, it's definitely gonna look fantastic. So I can get that done tomorrow when I do the rest of it, when I do the bottom of the guitar. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay. Okay, this is a view from a different vantage point, and you can see that it is looking good. So I'm going to leave it. Of course, I've got to mess around with the little where the screw holes are. I've got the Q-tips sitting in there, and I've got to move those around. But I'm going to leave it here with you guys, and I'll move you on to the next step. See you then. Hi guys, I'm back here, and unfortunately had an unfortunate, unforeseen thing that happened with my guitar body. I had the, as you've seen in my last video, I had put the epoxy resin on the front, and I thought I had stayed with it long enough so that it wasn't going to drip anymore down the sides and end up having a bunch of drips on the bottom. Well, I guess I was wrong, because there was drips, these little drips that were all the way around the edge, the bottom edge of the guitar, where the resin just went ahead and slowly dripped, and it just hardened into a bunch of drips. So I've taken my power sander and I got as much as I could. I've been just doing some hand sanding, you know, trying to smooth it out. The front looks okay. It's nice and shiny, you know, and the only bad thing about it, like I said, was the fact that it just didn't, I didn't check it long enough to make sure that there wasn't going to be any drips And so when I came and checked it the next day, I thought it was going to be nice and smooth, and wrong. I had to sand all the drips off. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to completely tape off the front of this, and I'm going to hang it up, and I'm going to have to respray it with the Candy Apple Red metallic spray. And I think I've got it sanded about as smooth as I think there might be a few spots here I have to get. But anyway, that's where I'm at with this. I've got to respray it. And then once I do that, I'm going to see if I can get the resin on the back here. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to put tape around it to keep it from, dripping, or what I'm going to do. So anyway, I will keep you guys updated and let you know how this works out. See you in the next step. Okay, I have finished sanding down the back of the guitar, got rid of all the bubbles, or I mean the drips, that is, that were formed by the resin dripping. And I have already sprayed another coat, my first coat, I should say, of the primer, so that I can repaint the back, and then I will redo it. And once I get the paint on, I will put a coat of resin, epoxy resin, on the back, and hopefully I will keep it from having drips on it. The front is looking good, and it's just gonna have to see if I can get the back done, and without having the drips, hopefully this time. So I will finish this and get it painted, and go on to the step, eventually to the last step of putting the resin on the back, and hopefully that will be the ending of getting this done, so I can start putting the guitar together. So we'll see you on the next step.